and welcome to Dots of Destiny. Welcome to your detailed horoscope reading of 2024 Cancerins. So here I am to give you about the different areas of your life that is happening in 2024 as per the transits. I have divided the four main pockets as your profession, your financial area, your relationship, and health and travel. So these are the four areas that I'll be talking about. First, let us talk about the transits of the planets as they're happening. The main planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Rahu, Ketu. Saturn is there in your 8th house and will be there in this house for the whole long year in Aquarius, and that will be in the nakshatra of Shatabisha and Purva Bhadrapada. These two nakshatras, Saturn will be going retrograde also from mid of June to mid of November, 130 days approximately. Jupiter will make a move from your 10th house to the 11th house. So first 4 months it will be in your 10th house, then it will move into your 11th house. So that's a welcome move for Jupiter. It is its Karaka position, and 11th house Jupiter usually does good. That transit will happen on the 1st of May 2024 till 2025 April, 1 year. And it will go retrograde from the mid of November to the 4th of February, 119 days of retrogression of Jupiter. Okay, next comes Rahu Ketu. Rahu Ketu is there in your, it has already made the transit, so it will be there in your 9th and 3rd house of Pisces and Virgo. Rahu will transit in Revati and going backwards towards Uttara Bhadrapada, and Ketu will be in Chitra and Hasta in the 3rd house. These are the main planets that are long staying in one sign. Other than that, the inner planets like Mars, your very important planet, the 5th lord, Mars will start its transit from Sagittarius, that is your 6th house. It will start its transit from there, from the 6th, in the beginning of the year. With Sun and Mars, you will see a conjunction in the month of January in the 6th. Then it will go to Capricorn, your 7th house, having a conjunction with Venus also. And then it will move into your 8th house, having a conjunction with Saturn. Then into your 9th house with Rahu. Then finally coming to its own house of Aries, your 10th house. That will be in the first week of June. Then going into your 11th house, then your 12th house, and finally on the Lagna by November 2024. And it is getting debilitated and also retrograde on the Lagna. So this is the journey of Mars from the 6th house to your Lagna by the end of the year. Next planet is Mercury. Mercury is your 12th and the 3rd lord, not at all a good planet for you. Mercury will make 3 retrogrades this year, and this will be on your Lagna on the 5th and the 9th, the Dharma Trikon. It will go back and forth from Aries to Pisces, Pisces to Aries, like that, and cross the Gandanta. Then can the Magha, the Aslesha Magha Gandanta, the Revati Ashwini, and also the Scorpio Gandanta of Jeshta Mula. So here, if you are having or you're running a Mercury Antardasha or Mahadasha or Pratyanta Dasha, there can be some things that will, you'll see untying of some knots that will happen, which can require effort, and it can take away a little bit of your emotional time and energy, because it is the 12th lord and the 3rd lord, as it is getting retrograde 3 times, 20 days of retrogression in the 1st, 5th and 9th house. Venus, your 11th lord, very important, your 11th lord Venus is having a smooth run. It is starting from Scorpio, your 5th house. Venus and Mercury in January will have a conjunction in Scorpio. It will begin its journey from there, and and it'll come back 360-degree. Venus will make a transit this year and come back to Capricorn by the end of the year 2024 in your 7th house. So this is the transit of Venus. It is having a smooth run, the normal run of Venus. It is not getting retrograde this year. It is not slowing down. Nothing much is happening. Only it is making a conjunction with Mars, Saturn, Rahu. So that every year Venus makes usually. So that is normal for Venus. So these are the transits, outer and inner planets. Sun, obviously every Sankranti we know happen by 15th or 16th of the month usually. So Sun is also very important for you, being the second lord. Now first let's come to the professional front. Professional area, we see from the 6th house your daily chores, your daily job, your office environment, and also the 10th house of profession. 10th house will see Jupiter being there till the first 4 months of the year, January, February, March, April, and Saturn in the 8th is constantly aspecting with the debilitated aspect in your 10th house. So, and 6th house lord, that is Jupiter, was in the 10th house till now. So you could have faced some obstructions, but also you could have, because see, Jupiter, what we have always seen is does not work very good in Upachya houses, but still 10th house is a Kendra house also. So it could have given some good feeling also at times to your profession, or you could have got a new position or some newness or some good factor can happen, because Jupiter is your Bhagya Lord. So that is why some kind of changes you may have felt in the 10th house. But see, the change will continue as Jupiter is making a move in the 11th, but Saturn is constantly aspecting your 10th house. That change continues. And because Jupiter and Mars especially your 10th lord, when it is going into the 6th, it's good. In 7th also it is good if it's in an exalted position. In the 8th house, when Mars is transiting in the 8th house, because it is your 10th lord going into the 8th, some sudden changes can happen. So at this time you have to be a little careful, because the Shani Mangal yoga is happening in the 8th house, and this time is it will be like mid of March to the 3rd week of April. I'll give the details of the transits when it happens 1 month before, so that you can be a little cautious if you're running Mars Antardasha, Pratantardasha, because it affects the journey then more. So Mars going into the 8th at that point of time with Saturn can bring a little turmoil in the area in the 10th house during that point of time. Then also Mars will later go, by the 3rd week of April, it goes and makes a conjunction with Rahu in the 9th house. So here also some foreign jobs, if you have applied, going for foreign jobs, applying, going destinations, these things can happen. So 9th house, in that way it's okay, but still Rahu Mars is a very inflammable conjunction. It's an Angarak yoga. So still you have to be a little careful, because at that time Mars is traveling 12th from the 10th house, 12th. So those are the two main pockets, main areas of profession I want to talk. Otherwise, Mars, when it's in a good dignity, it will give you good results. 10th house, the Aries sign, is only getting the aspect. When Mars comes onto the Aries sign, first week of June, it will be in good dignity. Mars does very good work in the 10th house. Structured work, good work, and Saturn is also constantly aspecting this area. So professional wise, you can see quite a lot of development this year, because your 6th lord is also in the 11th. You can gain from your daily routine, Rogrin Shatru, you can gain from these things also. You can, gain in the sense what, that it turns into your favor, that kind of a thing. So it is medium to better this year. Profession should do good. Okay, now coming to the financial part, is your 2nd lord is Sun, and obviously your 8th lord Saturn is there in the 8th, and your 11th lord is Venus, and Jupiter is making a move. So you have, when Sun's position is good, your savings will but one thing is that Saturn being in the 8th is aspecting this Leo house, so keep a watch on your savings, because it is the enemic drishti of Saturn. Otherwise your inheritances can happen, maybe a little slowly, but Saturn in the 8th is good in its own house, though it's a Ashtam Shani. We always talk about dreaded Ashtam Shani. Yes, it brings certain events, sudden events, it does, but it is not bad being in its own Mutrikon house. It is looking into your 2nd house. Keep a watch on that area. Jupiter should bring good gains, because Venus's run is also good this year. There is no much delay with Venus this year. So monetary front, other than Saturn aspecting the this, and whenever Mercury gets retrograde to your 12th lord, be a little cautious about the expenditure, or forgetting, or don't lend money too much, like that kind of a thing. Otherwise 11th house is doing good, 8th house is doing good, 2nd house needs some care. Savings should be looked after this year, otherwise Saturn can create problem in that area. Okay, then we come to the relationship front. Relationship is your 2nd house again, the family front. Saturn is again having a look. Some disputes can happen when Saturn aspects Leo house, so be a little careful about that, because it is 8th Saturn also. 8th Saturn that does put in a little pressure in in all kind of areas. Sudden mishaps do happen, because Saturn is the Karaka of the 8th house. Some mishaps it does bring, I will not deny that. It is not very easy energy in that way, and Saturn is suffering hindrances and all these things. So especially if you are a Cancer moon, you have to be a little careful about it. Your 4th lord Venus is mostly in dignity this year, so you should, and Jupiter being in the Venusian sign in the 11th house, that way it is a good year, because the Bhagya lord, when it's in the 11th, some kind of desire fulfillment, some good feeling can happen all throughout the year. Jupiter does good in the 11th house, so if this 8th Ashtam Shani can create some hindrances, some disputes, some sudden events that you need to, some responsibility, some added responsibility, some death-like situations, some relationship going a little further away from you. Those situations can happen, because it is the 7th lord also transiting in the 8th. Otherwise you can keep a watch on these areas, because see, this is normal for Ashtam Shani. We cannot avoid it. Every sign has to go through it. It is your turn this year, next year some else turn. So keep a watch on that, and take caution in that area. Tread with caution. Caution means you cannot avoid the 8th house things, sudden things. If they happen, you cannot avoid it, but you can go with the energy. That's what I'm saying. To keep calm, you can meditate. For Saturn, you can meditate. You can chant Om Namah Shivaya and Mahamrityunjaya mantra 11 times in a day at least, if you can do that. I believe in chanting mantras a lot, so that way it can be good. Then comes your travel. Rahu in the 9th usually gives good travel, especially 9th lord being in the 11th. So this year is good for travel. Ketu also in the 3rd brings short distance journeys. You can even change your environment. That can also happen. Sudden shift in your environment can happen. Because you want to change a house or locality, because 3rd house is the locality. So Rahu Ketu in that axis can bring in. You can feel that Ketu gives you want to initiate things, you want to initiate journeys can give you pleasure, you can learn from it, you can have a bohemian spirit at this point of time. those things can happen with Rahu Ketu being in the 3rd and 9th axis. So that's not bad. If you want to go for higher studies also, Rahu sometimes create hindrances in the 9th house for studies, but here, because Jupiter, the 9th lord, is in the 11th, some desire fulfillment regarding the 9th house should happen. So that will be a good transit in that way, because Rahu Ketu 9th 3rd axis is, it's good. It is good to better, but Jupiter in the 11th making it even more fruitful. That is what I'm trying to say. Okay, now lastly is your health. Your health needs attention because it is 8th Saturn. 8th Saturn is very important, and see, your Scorpio house is getting 3 aspects. That is, your 5th house is getting 3 aspects of Saturn, Rahu and Jupiter. Here your luck can get a boost. You can get some favors. So to enjoy all those things, your professional area, your luck shining, Jupiter in the 11th, you have to take certain cares regarding your health, because Saturn in the 8th makes see, it is it'll make us a little cautious about because sudden health issues it brings up. Your eating habit should be under control. Too much don't indulge in things, because it is looking in the 2nd house. So that way also Saturn is telling you to keep a tab on your health. So health factor, you have to keep a watch, very important. And if you're running Mercury, because see, Mercury Antardasha, if you're running, Ketu being in the Mercury sign, Mercury is your 12th lord also. So whenever it is going in, Gandanta area, the 12th lord can bring in some problems. But Jupiter being, one problem with Jupiter is that it is not aspecting your Lagna. That is there. But it is in the 11th house. It is in a good state over there. Whole of the chart is good in that way, but Saturn in the 8th, you have to keep a tab on your health, on your eating habits, on the lower part of your body. When Saturn joins Mars in the 8th house, you have to be even more careful at that point of time. And also your professional area needs a certain take care, because Saturn is constantly aspecting your area of profession also. So this is the whole theme of 2024 Cancerians. It is a mixed bag for you. But overall, I feel some, especially if you're running a Jupiter Antardasha phase, some kind of phase of Jupiter you're running, Pratandadasha, Antardasha, Dasha, some kind of fulfillment of desires and luck shining, because Scorpio house is getting so many energy of planets, can happen this year. Hope you make the most of this year. It's a good to better year, and Ashtam Shani, be a little careful. Otherwise, enjoy this year. I'll meet up with you again in the coming videos. Till then, have a good time.